Hello and welcome to this week's Material Musings. I'm so glad you could join me and the motorbike that's whizzing past. But thank you for joining me, and I'm really excited to share what I have been working on for the past week. I shared my beginnings of a Kawandi. So I'm going to be sharing that with you, see how far I've got. And I've also been finishing off another project alongside it. And what's important for me for this year is to think about all of those half-finished projects that need attention and get them finished. So at the end of today, what I'll be sharing with you is the next project that I'll be working on. And I'm going to, depending on the complexity of what's left to do, I'm hoping to be able to continue working on two side by side and then sharing. They may take one, it may take 2 weeks, but we'll see how it goes. And in between, what I'll be doing is sharing with you some of the techniques used so that if you want to try it yourself, you can. So without further ado, let us get cracking and see what the state of play is with my Kawandi. Material Musings. Okay, so here is my first Kawandi. The only thing that I haven't done is the flowers at the end. And I'm still debating what fabric to use. So I decided to use all the fabrics that I had hand dyed wax resist. I can go through some of them and tell you what's been done to them, the main ones that you can see. And then I decided to take all those fabrics I've been hand dyeing and doing wax resist, doing batik for quite a while now. And so I wanted to put everything together. It's nice to be able to see them all together, and it's amazing to see how much you actually have done out like this, because the pieces that I've worked on, they're all in a box, so I don't really get to see them unless I'm looking to do something with them. But generally they're all put away. So this is it. And then what I did in the center here is I'd had this piece that I had created, I'd printed using a jelly plate, and I stenciled as well. And I thought, let me bring this together. And I've done it's just some ribbon I'd stitched to it. I just like the look. It actually goes like this. I just wanted you to be able to see everything. But that's how it goes. And even the back is a fabric that I had dyed, hand dyed. It's avocado dye. And there's some wax resist on it. And then I've gone round and did this stenciling. But I like the back. There's areas, of course, you can think, okay, I should have pulled the thread a bit tighter there. Like here, I don't know what happened here. It's like in the early stages. And so there's just a few, and maybe just some bits that I need to cut off. Okay, so the thing I found with doing it using the fabrics that I had dyed is that a lot of the fabrics were heavy cotton. So things like this were heavier, the cotton, and my fingers, like I did this first bit on the outside, and then every now and again I would jab the needle into my fingers, and it really hurt. And so I've still got the scars. It's just got scab over and heal. Not scab over it. I mean, it's not hurting anymore, but obviously the skin was torn. So I'm thinking oh, that's not one. I was going to say, I don't know. This is a very tiny thimble, but I want to find a thimble that I can use. I think it's something that I need to use if I'm going to be doing projects like this, hand sewing with thicker material. And I tried to include multiples of the same fabric. I managed to do that with some of them, but then some of them, like this one, was really one of my favorites, and I didn't get to put the other piece that was going to go on here. I don't know what happened to it, it disappeared. But for most of them, I've kind of like got three, some for three, and then a mishmash of all the others. So what we have is some tea dyed. We've got tea dyed, we've got conventional dye. They're all batiqued or wax resist. We've got avocado dye, and then, oh yeah, I said conventional dye, and then the printing. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think I'll have to do a few more before I can really get my flow of it, and in terms of the stitching. And then I was noticing this piece, so this piece was added at the end, but it had already been stitched, so I didn't go round this piece. So there's slight, like a raised area here. So I might actually go in and just do some smaller stitches beside the ones that are here. And then there was a piece, for some reason, after I'd sewn this, there was a piece missing here, and so I had to find another piece here. So obviously the stitching that was on these bits, you can see it on the back, but it doesn't correspond with the front because I'd stitched this first and did all the stitches, and then, as I say, this was added last. And then I just like the process. I enjoyed starting it off and working inwards. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the meditative nature of creating the stitches. I've just got to it's just practice, I think, and taking what it is I took from it and really wanted to see how I was going to enjoy it, and I think I did overall. I'm pleased with it, as it's my first, and obviously I wasn't following the instructions exactly to the letter, but the next one I'll use lighter materials just to see how you can get the flow. And then I've still got more of my own hand-printed, hand-painted, designed materials, so I can always do another larger one. I think essentially I will get bigger in terms of creating these. It's not entirely straight, but as I say, I'm happy with it, and it could be something that could go onto another piece and be a larger piece, or it's in itself, it is 14 by 16 and a half. So 14 by 16 and a half. Yeah. And I also added, well, the beads and the ribbon are added to this central piece of fabric that I added on. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and this would definitely be framed under glass because of all the different methods of dyeing. They would start to fade if they were in direct sunlight or exposed, so I will do that. But yeah, that's my first Kawandi, and yeah, I'm going to gather some additional scraps. The other thing I saw when I looked at the city women, they didn't always use like the tiny small scraps, so they don't all have to be the same size. Yeah, you could decide on the colour palette with the fabrics, obviously, that you choose. And there are so many people that I've watched, you know, online doing the Kawandis, and everybody, you know, has their own preference. So which is fine, but what I would like to be able to do is add the figures that I create and then incorporate those. So what I might do is break them down, and then they will become part of the quilt as opposed to an addition. I think I want it to become part of the quilt, the Kawandi. I want it to become part of the Kawandi rather than, oh, I put it on at the end. Even though I really do like the stitches that are on here, it just adds something for me. But yeah, for my first, I'm happy with that, and I'm going to be making more. Okay, so let's look at the other project that I was working on. So this one, I was doing a bit more to it. So this one, you would have seen it, the early stages, and it's definitely grown. I've just got a few more bits to do to it. I was working on it a couple of days ago. Now let me come in. So it's funny, I was showing my son and he was like, does that say choke? I was just like, no, it's choice. It's choice. So I'm just going to have to define that. It's choice. And then I was like, said to myself, oh, did I want a word on it? You know, I like maybe think about some of the imagery I might have, and put on it. But yeah, I've just got to make sure that there's a gap in between there. Okay, so yes, what you would have seen is this bit here. Right, you would have seen, yeah, this bit here, and then I've recently just added this back in. And that's what it looks like at the back. It's, this was going to be the back in, and then I thought, I want to use this. So this is another piece of the material that I had dyed with my jelly plate. So you can see it's the same. And I really liked it, actually. Yeah. And even this side, I like the look of it. But again, it's a lighter material. It's a light cotton, and so we've got a little bit of the raised, because all of this was stitched beforehand, and so next time I will just use a heavier fabric on the back and maybe incorporate this lighter fabric into the piece if I wanted to. Okay, so let's see what I was doing. I was adding this red thread, or not red, kind of pinkish, to pick up the pink in here. I just wanted to end it with that, so I'm just gonna tidy up. So this would be a nice piece to put in like a perspex frame, so you can actually see the back as well, because I enjoyed doing the back, and I think that would be a nice, it'll be nice to see both of them. But that's the two projects that I was that I finished this week. Well, I guess this has taken me the Kawandi's taken me a couple of weeks, but I enjoyed having done it. I'm looking forward to working on another one. I will be selecting some materials and seeing how I get on with them, and I'll show you what I was going to be working on next to finish off as a project. In all of my pieces I've just used straight stitch, and I might have used some French knots like here and across here, but I do like incorporating beading, so you will find that a lot in my pieces. And then just experimenting with the way that you can with the same straight stitch put it in different directions, or double it up, or alternate it, or have we got any that sometimes I do them all in the same line, and yeah, just finding different ways. Look at this one where, you know, you just, let's come in a bit, looking at ways in which you can just, you know, they're just 3 stitches, it's the same straight stitch, but I've done more than one and then gone in the opposite direction, and it gives you a different look on the piece, as opposed to just the straight stitch, or doing really small stitches gives you another look. And I like that on the outside of the pieces, so that's going to be something I'll probably continue in all of my pieces that are hand sewn, or even the blanket stitch. Let's have a look at the next 2 that are on the list to be complete. So we've got this one. I finally found a backing fabric, but now thinking about what I've found with the Kawandi and the fabric that I've used on that one, this one might not be suitable. I'm gonna go for a heavier fabric, but I liked the orange, the orange and the black. So what I might do is very similar to this one, where we have an additional fabric around the side, but for this one I'll use a heavier fabric. So that's going to go something like that. So it will be roughly 13 by 14. And then we'll do a heavier backing fabric. So that's that one. I want to get this one out. This is Journey. But this is one of the digital figures that I have on my Etsy that you can download and use as a stamp, and I'm hoping to create a series of stitched figures that you can download and then use in your projects. And then the other one that I'm determined to finish off is this one. I love this one. So here's another figure that I've created, very similar to this. This one I took from the figure that I'd created as a digital download, and then when I was painting the fabric with the wax, I just freehanded it. I didn't copy it exactly. So we've got this. So this is another one that I'm looking forward to completing, and that's its backing fabric. It's just fairly simple, but it's heavier. So these are the ones you're going to see me complete and get to the stage where they're ready to go, either be framed or hung. And the piece that I'm going to be working on, the main piece I'll be working on next week, is this one. So, as I say, it's all about completing pieces and getting stuff finished. And you know, I do encourage you, if you've got pieces that you need to finish, then this is the place to come so that you can spend time and work out what you need to do. So with this one, I've done a lot of the sewing already, a lot of the embellishing. There were some pieces that I must have done them. I thought there were some pieces that still needed to be stitched down, but yeah, they've all been done. So now, again, this is one which will probably be quite straightforward, and it can be stitched to the backing fabric. It already has kind of like a lining. I'm going to have to get a really sharp needle because there's quite a few layers to go through. It might be alright in places. And if you come back next week, I will be talking about this piece and sharing all the things that have been done on it, but I just thought I'd give you a sneak peek of it, and that one's going to be worked on next week. I've got something like this. You're not going to see it until it's... oh, look at that. Do you know what? I quite like that because the greens kind of go nicely. Okay, so we are going to go for something like that. And then on the other side of this, that's a nice, it's almost double-sided, because I could even decide, no, I wouldn't decide to do this. I wouldn't do it that way. I would definitely do it that way. I like that. So that still leaves me with the heavier backing fabric. I mean, what I could do is go in with the same and put it at the back. Let me just see what the needle's saying. Actually, it's not too bad. I could still... yeah, I can still get the needle through. So we're going to have this on the front and the back. So I can see if I've got a larger piece, it then will just accommodate them both, and I can just cut it. Yeah, that's the same. Right, so what I'm thinking of doing is just doing some additional stitches to bring the stitches out here, and then I can add the back in and just stitch them both together. So I'm going to leave about that. And I might even bring the stitches out here, and maybe some of this colour and the beige, which I've kind of got in here. It's not really a beige, is it? But I've got this colour in here as well. And we've got white, which we can maybe continue on the outside. So I'm not sure how many things I've committed to. there. Okay. So I'm going to do some more work on this. And the other thing is nice to experiment. So it's been nice just creating these pieces that then go on to delight and inspire others. So I've started the project. I'm going to have the back end, same back end. That's the task at hand will be to stitch this, do some more stitches, add this to this piece, maybe bring out some of the stitches out into this piece, bring in some of the colour. So this blue, I've recently got some more threads, and I think that colour, oh no it's not. Oops, and actually I do have this colour. Let's get it. Okay, this is as close as I can get it. Yeah, it's closer than this one anyway. Now, this is crochet thread actually, and we'll go with this one because this one is the one that will tie these in together. And that's the nice thing about these projects. You just go until you feel. I'm not following a pattern. I'm not following. I'm just deciding. Well, I like these colours. I like that, and I want to, you know, bring it to a particular point. I'll know when it's done, and I think this will be the final layer. It's nice to be able to work on these, and but it's nice to be able to finish them off as well. So if you've got any projects that you know, perhaps you need to start thinking about it. I want to get the majority of projects because there's so many more that I want to start. So anyway, I hope that's been useful. So this is one I'm going to be working on. This is one I've just finished, so it needs a frame. Or I've got some wooden dowels, so I'll need to do some wood burning, and that's how I might display these for now. I've got some wood burning, so some wood to wood burn, so they'll have the bits so that they can be hung, but then I recommend, especially with the hand-dyed pieces, that they are put behind glass. We've even got some hand-dyed bits here, just on here. Okay, so thank you for joining me, and I look forward to sharing next week what I'm working on, how far I've got, and I hope you try your own Kawandi. And if you have, and if you've got any more tips, if you've got any tips, leave them in the comments, and or just say hi. And yeah, oh yeah, I've still got to add some stitches in between here, so that it reads choice. When you're close up it reads choice, but from a distance I can see how it can look like choke. But anyway, so that's life, isn't it? I hope to see you again soon and look forward to seeing what you're creating. Bye for now.